Hi everybody, my name is Megan Laner and I am the CARES teacher at Harrison. Um, this video is basically about dispositions and things that I feel that are my strengths and that I feel that I could work out, well, work on, I guess, not work out, but, okay, apologize. I'm in my car. I've got about 10 minutes of peace and quiet before the kids come out and Mom, you're home. So, disposition that I feel that I have. One of my biggest things that you will see on my discussion pieces is honesty. Honesty and respect are one of the biggest ones that I have, that I work for in my classroom. Respect goes both ways. You treat the CEO the same as you treat the president of a company. Always do the right thing. I try to explain this to the students, always do the right thing, even when you think nobody's watching, because someone's always watching. For example, I had students that were horse collaring around in my classroom. I had stepped out to go fill up my cup and talk to another teacher, and I'm started headed back to my class. I get stopped at the door, and a teacher says, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I saw the kids. He's like, they weren't doing anything crazy, but it kind of looked really bad from the window. So he saw them from the parking lot because it's dark outside, obviously, and the building's lit in the morning. So he saw them. So the boys didn't know he saw them, but he saw them. So when you think nobody's watching, somebody is always watching. Always do the right thing. Always do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because you're going to get anything out of it, but because you know that it's the right thing to do. Those are what my main classroom rules are. And also be honest, because I don't want a liar. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to lie to you. I do not lie to my students. I do not sugarcoat things, because I feel that this open communication, this open line of communication is something that really, really helps these students. I feel students nowadays, they don't want to be lied to. They want to know what's going on. They want to know the facts. And I've always said I have only lied 3 things to my kids. The Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, and Santa Claus. Those are the only 3 things that I've ever lied to my children about. Now, do I make it age appropriate? Absolutely, because I'm not going to tell them things that full adults don't understand. But I make it age appropriate, but I still make it the truth. That is my thing. Another one that I feel that I am strong on is advocating. I advocate for kids when, whether or not they need it, I still advocate for the kids, especially the special education department. That is a huge thing that's close to my heart, just because I do have 5 kids that are special needs. And I do see the ins and outs, and I kind of get the perks of seeing the educational side, and I get the perks of seeing the mom side, so the parental side. So I feel that that is another one that I, actually, here comes one now, that I feel helps me be a better teacher. I told you he's coming. Hang on 1 second. I'm almost done. 1 second. Yeah. Never get a moment of peace. So, yeah. Okay. I gotta do this real quick. Say bye. Okay. Sorry about that. Lost my train of thought. Going back to the educational piece, like I said, I get both sides, the best of both worlds. I get the educational and the parental. So kiddos like my Gabe there, who need advocates, that is something that I plan on doing, and I think it benefits me in the classroom setting that I'm in right now. I have kiddos from all sorts of life. One of the stories I shared on one of the discussions the other day was how one of the kids said, "Oh man, I really, really wish you were my mom, just giving me discipline and setting structure and and one of my personal kids was in the classroom, and they kind of looked at me and I looked at them and I just smiled, because you see those things, you see the outside looking in, and you're going, oh man, that looks great, but honestly my kids will probably say she holds us to pretty high standards. Which I do tend to do in my classroom as well. I hold the kids to pretty high standards, but I understand that each kid is made differently, and I understand that each kid learns differently. One of the things I do have to work on, that is one of the things that I have to work on, is making sure that I do have things in place for children that learn differently. I do for the most part, but just because this kiddo learns differently or learns a specific way doesn't mean this kiddo learns a specific way. So I really have to focus on how to pinpoint and not really manipulate, but manipulate the situation to what works best for everybody. Those are a couple things that I can work on, or at least one thing that I can work on. Just making sure that my standards aren't too high, that it's unreasonable, and making sure that I make the adjustments for the kids that need to be made. I'm so sorry. I'm new at all of this stuff. I'm not really great at recording myself, so this is new for me. But like I said, I'm really excited to do this journey. I'm really excited for the future, so that way I could be that person that helps advocate for these kids, and hopefully they will learn something from me, and I'm successful in this. I feel like I could be. I'm determined, and I think I've got a good foundation. So foundation is basically what these kids need. I think to start is a really good foundation, and that's kind of what I need to learn to grow. Another thing I like is to learn something every day. I try to learn at least one new thing every day. If I don't, then I feel like I've failed the day. So, I hope that kind of helps. I don't think it really helped anybody, but that's kind of the way I see things. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.